So look.
So Grant.
Hey, buddy. I hear someone stuck a
there,
piece
buddy?
of metal in their face this week. Yeah, I'm good. I hear somebody stuck a piece of metal in their face this week, though.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
I even had to pay him to do it.
That seems wrong.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't like I flew into a fence and got something shoved up there like last time. No. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I got the old beak pierced.
Yeah, walk me through it, man.
Yeah,
Give me your mindset leading up to it. Give me the breakdown of the happenings and, how you're feeling since.
Well, one of my friends a couple months ago was like, Luke, you should pierce your nose. And I was like, fuck no. Why would I do that? And then I started thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? Why not? It's a pandemic. I don't see anyone during the week. I kind of want to see what it looks like. And worst case, I can take it out in a couple months if I hate it. So then it was actually really hard to find a place to do it because apparently no one wants to fuck around with your nose right now in a pandemic. So
yeah. I can imagine that'd be an issue right now.
So yeah, I went in and finally found a place, scheduled the thing, and then they gave me a little bucket to carry around all my stuff in the whole time. That part was weird.
While you were there?
Yeah, they were like, put your stuff in the bucket. I was like, does my pockets not work? And I was wearing a jacket too that had pockets. But
that's weird.
Yeah, and they had tape for the bucket to go in on the floor. So that was weird. But I walked in and the gal at the front desk was like, oh, okay, what piercing do you want? And I was like, oh, I'll do a hoop. And she was like, you're not going to do a hoop. And I was like, I guess I'm not going to do a hoop.
Bro, what?
She was like,
what kind of customer service?
She was like, that's the high heels of piercings. You should start with a stud and then you can go up to a hoop after 6 months when you're used to dragging and weighing on you. I was
so it's less about the upkeep and just about how it feels. Is why they didn't.
And I guess, well, I think you were right earlier when we were talking it pulls on the hole a bit, I guess, so they want it to. I don't know.
That makes sense. So wait, the process. I watched one person get their nose pierced, and it looked pretty painless. But also, COVID, was it the same?
I filled out my paperwork, signed my life away, went into the room, and the piercer was in there, and she rolled my mask down and drew a dot on my nose, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it there, sure.
Oh, you were still masked this whole time. I completely forgot.
Yeah, so it was over my mouth, but she peeled it off my nose. So she drew that.
You got the dick flop of masks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah. And so then I laid on the table, and she was like, okay, close your eyes now. And then 20 seconds later, it was pierced. I'm not even sure. I know she shoved something up my nose, and then I felt something on both sides of my nose. And then I felt a pinch. And then she was like, oh, I just put the ring in. And I was like, or the stud in. I was like, oh, already? A little solitary single tear drifted down my face, and she gave me a paper towel to wipe my, quote, tears of happiness away with. And then, yeah, it was done. It honestly hurts more now than it did right when it happened. I think it's just kind of sore, though.
That's what I figured. So you're going to move up. You got a stud now. You're going to move up to a ring, 6 months?
Yeah, so now I have incentive to keep it to August. Because I really want to see what a ring looks like. I think I would do better with a ring. But
interesting. Yeah, especially with how small it is. Like you're saying, it's pretty manageable to hide right now if you really want to. But I think with the ring, once it can really be out there, that'll be good. Well, I've actually been contracted by myself to perform somewhat of a little exit interview on you here. I won't be reporting my findings back to the shop that you got this done at or anything like that, so it really means nothing. But first things first, what are we less than an hour removed? A little bit over an hour?
Yeah, an hour right now.
Would you say it was worth it?
I think so.
How long before you would go back to do it again?
Ooh, another nose piercing or a different piercing?
Nose piercing for now.
That looked kind of weird with 2. but I guess
Well, yeah,
I could
but I'm
switch
talking like
nostril.
process-wise. Like, it seemed like a pretty painless process. Would you?
Oh yeah, I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, would you get? Do you plan? Did this experience help you decide to get more piercings in the future?
I did not find that to be the case. I think I'm pretty good with this one. I don't really want to pierce my ears. You want to pierce your ears?
Not really my ears, but you kind of went punk on me here, man. I feeling like a square. I feel like I need to pierce something.
Yeah, keep up.
I don't know. Maybe we can figure this out sometime in the future. But anyway, well, my last question was going to be, what other piercing do you want to get? But you said you don't want another piercing, so you fucking ruined this segment.
I'd get a tattoo though.
Yeah, but that's such a bigger question than piercing. Like, I want a tattoo too. I also don't know what kind of tattoo.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you want to go ahead and get it started before we get lost rambling about tattoos?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Welcome to the Unruly Geese Podcast.
So, Grant, we were talking the other week about how both of us have been struggling to find music over the pandemic. And something I've been doing this last week or two is just listening to albums straight through front to back, which is something I kind of forgot to do for a while. So, I've been wondering, what are some of your favorite albums to listen to front to back?
Well, I guess there's four that I can really come up with off the top of my head, because I do think about this a lot more than I probably should. Could be thinking about important stuff, but off the top, it's a classic. It's probably one that you're not going to be all that surprised by. It's Sigh No More, Mumford's first full album from 2012.
I forget about that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, and it's like, it has minimum 3 bangers on it, which I feel like a perfect album has to. It has like 4 or 5 real, like, absolute just tear down the house bangers, but then there's like
both on the album and when they play them live. I digress though.
Oh, exactly. No, you're super right. But there's like, it's less of a story and more like coherent themes throughout. It paints a very specific picture of like the time and place and feeling and different themes of like loss and, well, I mean, there's all kinds of things that it explores, but it's just the way that it all is very cohesive and rolls one right into another. It peaks as an album and comes down as an album. It has that like climax point in the middle of it that also then has that rundown, that conclusion to it. Oh, it's a banger.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah, hit me.
Here's a question for you. Are the Lumineers or are the Head and the Heart what they are now without this album coming out in 2009?
Well, you see, Luke, that's a very great question that you asked me just now, because the next band that I'm going to bring up is actually the Head and the Heart. And I think that, popularity-wise, no, they're not. Obviously, the Lumineers got a lot bigger than the Head and the Heart did. Mostly, in my opinion, because Hohei skewed so Mumford-y, and their sound does kind of skew into that very folksy Americana. But when it comes to like the pure quality of the music, I think that would have been there regardless. Which brings me to my next point. The Head and the Heart's first album, similar to Mumford, has this perfect flow. It's all the songs just they tie together. There's more of a cohesive story there. It's not like a huge concept album like an American Idiot that tells a front to back narrative or anything like that, but it's just similar to Mumford. It has those movements together. It feels like, like you sit down and listen to like a classical piece of music. I don't do that much, but I'm assuming the people that do, if you listen to the full, I guess, piece as a whole, you're listening to the different movements, and I feel like both Sigh No More and The Head and the Heart have that on theirs. And with the... What's up?
Let's just talk about this stretch here. Ghosts, Down in the Valley, Rivers and Roads, Honey Come Home, Lost in My Mind. That's about as good as a 5-song stretch you're going to get on an album.
Yeah. I fucking big knowing. And when you listen to it, it's something that gets lost a little bit nowadays, just with the nature of pop music. But just the flow from song to song, Mumford still has it in their later stuff. But this Head and the Heart one really has it, where it'll drop out of, like, the end of one song will then feature in and become part of the intro of the next song in some cases. And like piano runs that end one song will get like complimented and responded to by the piano run that starts the next song. And so you really feel like you're gaining a better understanding of the entire album when you listen to it front to back, like as a whole, in that way. But then, to me, there's two other ones off the top of my head that, in very different ways, have a similar flow. Or not a similar flow, but have a flow. And it's more of like a vibey beats kind of flow. I'm going to name them together. It's... Random Access Memories, Daft Punk, My Boys Coming in Clutch. And John Bellion's...
Ooh,
I lost the name.
That was not a name I expected to hear today.
Dude, I totally lost it. Not Glorious Sound Prep, but the one before that.
Oh,
The Human Condition.
the one with All Time Low on it?
Something. Yeah, The Human Condition. It has All Time Low, New York Soul Part 2, Woke the Fuck Up, Good in Me, Morning in America, Guillotine. Dude, that song is nothing but bangers.
Maybe IDK. Maybe IDK's on this one too.
Dude, and it's so good because it has and that's one that I feel like, similar to Random Access Memories, takes these like big vibey dance beats and makes them really introspective in the actual content the song is attacking. Like a lot of that John Bellion album is either him dealing with his insecurities or like general insecurities being dealt with by the main character of the narrative. And you don't get that as much with the Daft Punk one, but you do get like a journey of self-discovery through music. And like they bring in the Georgia, the song I'm talking about from Random Access Memories, with my boy who helped pioneer electric music as it is. So those are probably my top 4. I've been rambling for a minute about a lot of these, but yeah, The Human Condition, Random Access Memories, The Head and the Heart, Sigh No More. All right, you got any fun answers to add?
One that you already mentioned, American Idiot. That was just the first album I grew up listening to front to back. I remember carpooling to school freshman year with this junior that could drive, and we would throw that on. And I saw Green Day a couple of years ago, and they played like every song from it. So I love that they know that that's a fucking incredible album.
Dude, it's the basis for their popularity since then, right?
No doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
When I said it, I was like, I should bring this up, but I feel like Luke might say something about it. So I'm glad I let you do your thing. But what else you got to say? But dude, Jesus of Suburbia is...
That just whole 7 minutes. They play that live to this day.
Yeah, it's because it's their best song. They know what they got.
Yeah. Another one I want to talk about is called Lovely Little Lonely. It's by a band called The Maine. And it is for the same reason as your Head and the Heart album. It just all flows together. There's like 4 distinct stops in the album where like a new song starts and then they all go together in a 12-song album. It's a really well-written, kind of mature but also still punk pop album. Definitely closer to alt rock than punk, but yeah, from a band that used to be that was on Warped Tour.
Bruh, I forgot my hands down number one greatest album of all time. I can't believe I forgot this. You saying alt rock made me think of it. It's Hot Fuss by The Killers.
How did I forget that one too?
Dude.
What are we doing?
A bunch of
and that was a first album
over here.
Which I guess The Head and the Heart and Mumford was also both their first albums.
That's quite interesting. We don't have enough time to dig into that now, but it's like, well, it's similar to my theory about athletes. A lot of times, like the Vince Carters, the Patrick Mahomes, the really crazy athletes are always chasing the first, like, 3 or 4 years of greatness in their career. Like, maybe it's the same with musicians. As they keep adding more to their catalog, there's, like, more fluff and more fat that can be trimmed. And so, like, the first one, for better or worse, will end up being, like, this sounds pretentious as hell, but, like, the purest version of...
But I do think that is starting to go away with all these bands that are being like, oh, we're just going to drop EPs until we're big enough and then finally drop an album. Mm-hmm. I hate it when bands are like, okay, here's my debut album, like after you've gone on 3 headlining tours already. Like,
yeah, you're talking about like the Chainsmokers specifically?
Yeah,
and then when they turn out a
and then like Love did it too. Who just did it? The Rex just did it.
Oh, no, Laney had albums.
Laney had albums. But yeah, that whole we're this is our debut album now, after you've supported us 7 years.
I mean, my thing, I agree with you on that. I think the new model, like the new release model for musicians, which like I think oddly enough kind of was pioneered by the Chainsmokers, of like the every 2 months. Somewhere between every month and every 6 months, you're going to release a single that will get some airplay, and hopefully one of these is going to be a fucking nuclear bomb on the music industry like Closer was. And then you just ride that into an album. And like it's kind of what Chance did with like mixtapes. Like he technically had 3 albums come out before he released an album. But... So, I think, basically, the point I'm trying to make, though, is I think the release structure lends a lot of interesting things. Like, it gives a true feedback loop, a more direct, with social media, but also just if you're only releasing a few things at a time, you can get more direct feedback from your fans on what it sounds like, rather than sinking money into, like, a whole 12, 13 song album, and then it's like, yeah, 3 of these are good, but the other 10 could have used some work. It's like, now we have that time to put in work. But no, but taking the angle of, we've been around for 7 years, here's our debut album, like, it is kind of like, well, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah. Yeah. And, because, are you still, like, can you win a, like, Newcomer of the Year Grammy by doing that?
I mean, I don't
know.
I think that Newcomer probably applies... Oh, no, that's a good point, because people have won that off, like, singles and shit before, so...
Oh, they have?
I would assume so, maybe not. Maybe, like, singles with an album forthcoming. Anyway, moving on, before we get too deep into the inner workings of an industry that we don't really understand. I have a follow-up question for you that is basically unrelated, except for it involves music. So, my question to you, Luke, is we've been talking a lot about what universe and whatever we want to live in. It can be universe, it can be different movies. It got me thinking, though, which music video, you can pick any music video, but you have to take everything good and everything bad from it, and everything medium. Which music video do you, or would you choose to live in if you had to choose one?
That's a really good question. Because there's so many different options. I could go like Free by Louis the Child and have that like super psychedelic world under some tree where just crazy shit happens. That'd be pretty dope. We could go the complete opposite direction and go like You Belong With Me and go to that high school with Taylor Swift. That would be a really interesting high school to go to for sure. But then also that's high school.
Straight up, you just gave me my answer. I don't even have to think about this question anymore.
Friday by Rebecca Black?
No, dude. The song that Troy Bolton sings on the golf course in High School Musical 2.
Yes.
I'm always right on the cusp of greatness. Right before going into senior year of high school, everything's still wide open. That's when that movie was set, right? In that summer
I think so.
between?
Yeah.
Because I know the third one, they're still in
That's
high school.
the graduation, right?
See, but then life gets too real. They start having, like, all those relationship problems. So, sorry, I kind of steamrolled. What else you thinking, though?
Another good one would be God's plan to just, 1, live in Miami, and 2, party with Drake.
Dude, not only party with Drake, he's just handing you money.
Handing out money, right?
It's just Groundhog Day, but every day you wake up and Drake hands you a stack of cash.
And if it's Groundhog Day, you have to spend that money all that day, which makes it even better.
Dude, that is, without a doubt, the best answer so far. But here's the bad thing. You're stuck in a Groundhog Day situation where you're, reliving the same day over and over again.
But you're in Miami with money. Sorry, what?
Yeah, man. You've been to Miami with no money. I feel like the experiences are pretty similar, except for when you have money, there's just more people around you.
True.
Like, we kind of weaseled our way into most everything we did in Miami. Sweet talked and... I can't think of anything that rhymes with it. Anyway.
Here's the question, though. Drake hands you $20,000 and you have to spend it that day in Miami. What are you doing?
Well, the first time, probably going to, like, a really nice hotel, buying out a cabana, and then just, like, open bar for anyone that walks over, Maybe send out a nice... Get a hold of, I don't know, man. I'd have to fucking contact somebody who's famous, get a hold of their contact info, get them to send out a big old blast to be like, yo, all y'all come party with this dude that's got a lot of money down here. I guess Drake is probably the contact there. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Or even like some guy in his posse.
Yeah, just that dude that's hanging out that... I mean, I guess, like, you literally have eternity to figure out who's the easiest person in his posse to cajole into getting you the hookup. I guess, so this brings up a more important question, because more so than Groundhog Day, I feel like this would become, like, a Palm Springs situation pretty quickly, where it's like, this is great, but also it sucks, and I'm immortal in a day that's amazing from the outside, but once you actually get to living it every day and not getting to reset, I think that's just, the whole plot and point of Groundhog Day and Palm Springs.
I do, on the other hand, think that you would have longer in Miami until you hit that wall. Just because it's Miami and there's a million things to do.
That's true. And, I mean, we did see Andy Samberg. You could realistically just use that money to stay up for days at a time as well sometimes. You could definitely find the substances necessary to do such a thing in Miami.
And you can't die.
Interesting. Okay, so God's Plan is a pretty strong contender, but what else are you thinking?
A weird one that I want to throw in there. Fat by Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, buddy.
Being stuck... No, this is weird, not what I would actually pick, but think about being stuck in that world. You're just in a parking garage with people chasing a guy around because he's fat.
Well, yeah, which one of these dudes am I? Am I the fat guy or am I the other people? Because if I'm the other people, it could be kind of fun. Like, you get to bully someone.
I think it's your choice, right?
Well, I mean, I guess it ultimately boils... No, yeah, it is your choice, because this isn't like...
Yeah.
I was thinking if this was some kind of like Hades demon hell situation, you'd definitely get put in the fat suit just for eternity, being chased by an angry mob. But
yeah, though my answer does have to be, I would be the mystic dude from Lil Dicky's Freaky Friday, and just making people switch bodies. Like, cool. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, and I guess we can expand our rules out from being this Groundhog Day thing to where you just live in that man's life, just going around body swapping people. That does sound fun as hell. It makes me want to ask some follow-up questions. Two specifically. Can he change people with objects, and can he change people with animals? Because I can have a lot of fun if I can make just random people into animals and animals into people.
We could
bring
leave
a
these
lot
human
of-
bodies and go back to geese.
We could also bring a lot of goose buddies over to the
No
to the
doubt.
dark side. We can introduce them to cocaine, Luke. So I think this is
We might have to go over
definitely
to
the better version.
So I think those should be he can switch whatever with whatever.
That's a good call.
Though we do, I feel like have to put some like setback to it. So I feel like that he has to be an eyesight of both things. But other than that, yeah.
I mean, the setback is that you have to live as that guy. You can have all the fun you want body
Yeah,
swapping,
true.
but you also have to be basically Merlin from Shrek 3, like, for the rest of your life. So there's definitely a downside built into that one, I'd argue.
True enough. True enough. What would you do?
Dude, I'm still circling, like, which music video?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm still circling, what did I say earlier? That still sounds the best. Dude, I lost it entirely.
I lost it too. It was a good one.
God's Plan, and it was like an alright one, at best. But let's think, what would I do? Like, part of me wants to do something, I would be selfish, and I would choose to live in Blurred Lines for the rest of my life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As Robin Thicke or as Miley Cyrus?
Just kind of there. I don't think Miley Cyrus is in that one. That's the one with
Oh, you're right.
Pharrell. Yeah, no.
That was the one she danced with him.
Yeah, but not in the video. Wow. Oh yeah, I think, if not one of the other ones that we've already brought up, I think Blurred Lines.
Good one. Oh, because the girl... I'm looking at the clip right now. The girl that is in Gone Girl is the girl in that one.
Yeah. Emily Ratajkowski.
Ratajkowski.
Yeah.
Well,
I still, that God's Plan one, except for the Groundhog Day situation that you'd get stuck in. It's just...
man.
Anyway.
Here's a question.
Yeah,
would you rather live in a music video universe, any random one, or a random Black Mirror universe?
Oh, music video, 100%, dude.
Even if it's, you don't get to pick the music video, just any random music video versus any random Black Mirror. You don't get to pick which one. You're just going into it blind.
I still choose music video for a couple of reasons. The first being, I've seen one Black Mirror episode all the way through. Based on that one and the small-ish sample size of episodes, I don't think I'm going to have a good time in any of those.
Which Black Mirror was it?
It was the one where the dude has to fuck a pig.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah. But, that being said, there are also a lot of spook... Because, like, music videos are fun until you remember that you could get randomly thrown into, like, a death metal music video.
Right.
So...
But I do feel like your odds are better with a music video for sure.
Oh, 100%. The concentration of fun stuff that can happen because of randomly getting in like a just unknown music video compared to the fun stuff that could happen getting into a Black Mirror episode, you know, it really depends who you are and where you sit in society for the Black Mirror episodes, but in general, I feel like music videos are probably the safer way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the main thing I realized through this question is I need to watch more music videos.
Dude, I used to watch so much. I've been going back through some old ones that we used to watch, and it's, it's...
Like Stay by Mac Miller. Oh, fantastic one.
Why Love Jean by Lil Thug's always a good one. There's some more, like, out there ones. There's one by Delta called White Flag that's this dope, like, 8-bit... I see you're excited. Let me finish this description because this is a dope music video. It's this dope 8-bit retelling of the story of Lucifer, like, falling from heaven, but he actually gets, like, super powered when he falls to hell, and so then he goes back up and beats up Jesus.
Oh. I like that.
It's got some really cool visuals. They like fall out of heaven into space, and there's like little specks. It's pretty dope. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you know what one I feel like we could do really well together in?
Hit me.
Hopeless Wanderer, Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, that crossed my mind as one to live in. And
yeah. It's not much of a life, but it'd be fun.
You go insane pretty quickly. It seems pretty akin to solitary confinement, but you're just doing it with a bunch of other insane people.
Just turns into Oh Brother, Where Art Thou real quick.
See, here's the other thing. If we go with the extrapolation theory, though, that we'll continue living our lives out in these music video universes, sign me up for that one, because I'm assuming that every other major band has been replaced by some kind of goofy celebrity doppelganger. And that's a world that I want to live in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even worst
and
case,
just
if I'm
the
like
Mumford
a roadie for
Sons
the
have a
fake
farmer.
Mumford. Yeah, give it to me all day.
Yeah. Well, enough about music.
Okay.
I have another question for you, which is along the same lines, but not. This is not going to be live in. This is going to be actually do it. So I have 4 different categories of reality TV shows, and I want to hear what you think you would do the best at in each category. I've written down a couple different options for each category. Feel free to add to it if there's one I didn't think of.
Hit it.
But first, so
let's go.
If it's one where there is a competition, this would be what you win. If it's one where there's not a competition, it would just be like, would you be like a main character for a long time? Like, if it was Keeping Up with the Kardashians isn't on here, but like, would you be relevant in that show for a long time and be like one of the main characters of that show? Like, which do you think you would do the bit of the show the best in?
So you're asking, like, using examples, you're asking, would I be proposed to on The Bachelorette, or do I think I'm more likely to go far on The Bachelorette, like a competition show, compared to just sticking around on a slice of life, Keeping Up with the Kardashians reality show?
We're going to go with success as you define it, because like The Bachelor is one of the ones I have on here, and we know you can be like 7th place on The Bachelor and then go on and have a really successful Instagram influencer career. So yeah.
I'm just confused what the question is.
So I have my categories of reality TV shows. Which do you think you would be the most successful at?
Okay, I'm following.
Which do you think would put? Yeah, so like that may involve winning it. That may involve getting 4th place and then going off and doing your own thing.
I have my answer. I don't even have to think about it. It is MTV's Real World's The Challenge on MTV. I would win that, like, straight up. I'd be Johnny Bananas.
I don't even know what that is.
It is. So basically, do you remember? This is gonna be an obscure reference, but I just saw a tweet about it. Do you remember like the Disney Channel games?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so imagine that, but instead of sitcom characters that are going up against each other, it's people from different seasons of the Real World versus people from different seasons of Road Rules.
Oh.
Going up against each other. Sometimes they're teamed up, sometimes they're paired off. I think it's basically like dropped the Real World versus Road Rule part of it now, because neither of those shows even exist anymore. But the moral is, I would fucking dominate. I've been watching a lot of that shit lately, and personality-wise, I would just bomb the house every chance I got. No regard. Competitiveness-wise, I would annihilate everybody, and I would break their minds while I'm doing it. I'm a big dude too. A lot of those just require like throwing your body weight, because they can't do you can't do at least in my opinion, a true like test of strength type challenge if you have like men and women. A lot of times, it's just because, at least with the girls they'd get on the MTV show, they were usually like real little, and so you can't have them going up against like the 6'3". I guess, they actually would split it down gender. Anyway, I feel like I could fucking rock that shit, man. Ignore everything I just said. That was nonsense. But I feel like I could rock that.
Nice. Yeah, so we'll put that into one of the categories here. But first I want to start with, we'll call it surviving the elements. Here are the show styles in this category for you. We got, so yeah, I'm going to break them into different categories. So we know what your all-time one would be there now.
100%.
But now let's talk about like surviving the element shows. In this one we got, yeah.
And so this is, surviving the element is like the themes of these shows, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so the shows I had that I thought fit in this one were Survivor, Naked and Afraid. I'll put The Amazing Race in it, Man vs. Wild, Fear Factor, those type shows. What do you think you're going to be best at?
Oh, man. So, I don't think I do well at Fear Factor just because, like...
They do some crazy shit there.
They do some crazy shit, and it's something that I wouldn't, like, sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
It's knowing all the crazy shit they do. If I have a real need to get into reality TV, Fear Factor is at the bottom of my list. I don't want to be like if I know what I'm going into and I can be like, oh yeah, I'll fucking let some snakes crawl on me, I'll let them do this and this. But if it comes down to like, yeah, you're gonna eat like a raw live scorpion, like, and you won't know about that until you get there, then I'll be like, peace on that one.
No thanks.
So pass.
No thanks, ludicrous.
I'm very interested by Survivor. I'm very interested by Naked and Afraid. And then I'm going to lump Man vs. Wild in with Survivor Man and say I'm very interested in those two as like a combined category as well. Because we were just talking about this a few weeks ago.
Survivor. Yeah.
I want to fucking... What'd you say? You cut out on my end.
Sorry, yeah, I think you do pretty well at Survivor for the reasons we just talked about. You play that mental game well. And then, yeah.
I'm ruthless. Especially if, Survivor's got a cash prize, right?
Yeah.
That's all me.
And you got to vote people off the island? Yeah.
I would live for that shit. So many people on those shows,
The
when
double
I watch
cross.
Them, they like regret voting people off the island. They'll get real emotional about it. I'll be like mic drop. I'd be like, look, let me announce it every week. Yeah, like that sounds so fun. Oh,
bye, bitch.
That's the
alrighty. Next category here, finding love. So first of all, we have The Bachelor. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Next, Too Hot to Handle. That was that Netflix show where if you like fucked or made out or anything, the cash prize got docked and then they split it all at the end. Love is Blind. That was the one where you don't see the person and then decide to marry them and then you get to see them. Love Island, Big Brother. And then one from left field, Catfished. In Catfished, I'm picturing you being Neve or Max.
Oh my god, dude. You should not have brought that one up. That's hands down. Like, that's far and away. I would rock some Catfish. You know this. One of our college friends and I already ran a little catfish operation for a few years while we were there in college.
You did what?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but me and Katie, anytime somebody would bring up like a significant other or somebody else they were like talking to, we would just scour the internet and find, like, we got to where we could just like find them within like minutes, like 10-15 minutes. We'd be like, oh look, we found them. And so yeah, it's hands down Catfish, dude. That's my shit. If I could pick up the torch, Neve, I don't know if you can hear this, sign me up. Quit the show, it's okay, I'll carry on your legacy, dude. I've seen every episode.
Yeah, you could be the new MGK that comes in.
Dude, no. I would want MGK as my co-host. That's my favorite episode.
I would watch that.
That's my favorite episode.
Oh.
Also, a little
His new
side,
album was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw him on SNL. It was a lot like better. It was more punk than I expected, and better punk than I ever expected to hear from him. Like,
you know who produced it?
Is it Travis?
Yeah, Travis did every song and did drums on every song.
No way. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've only heard the one song that I watched on SNL. I'm about to go listen to the rest of this now.
Yeah, the whole well, and then this actually kind of ties in with both our topics because he made one 48-minute music video of the whole album. I haven't watched it because 48's a big time commitment, but
Feel
that exists.
Low key, feel like Machine Gun Kelly's about to come back around.
Yeah,
I never
because
could have predicted that, but
he's so good at punk pop.
yeah, it's like way. But he also like he can obviously rap, and so then he can rap over that and gets that nice fusion that like that Beastie Boys fusion of rap and punk. Like,
Yeah, he has very quickly jumped to very high on the list of people I want to see post-pandemic.
I agree.
But
well,
alrighty, so Catfish for Fine Love. Next one, I've called this one Be Smart. It's kind of your typical game show. So like we got Shark Tank, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Family Feud, Deal or No Deal, Price is Right. You can pick who does Family Feud with you. What you doing?
can I sprinkle in some Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
I forgot about that one. Yeah. You think you're smarter than a fifth grader?
No. But I think I could. I think I'd have a lot of fun on that show. I think me and Jeff could really cut it up. You know.
Yeah, I forget Jeff Foxworthy's the host there.
That
I
being
have
said,
quickly.
it is a dream of mine to appear and work with the Shark Tank. So, see, the problem there is though I don't have like a company or a product at the moment. I would just show up empty-handed with a lot of pizzazz, but nothing really to pizzazz up, you know? Nothing to really jazz up. So
You could be like the permanent hype man in Shark Tank if the producers like know someone's coming on that doesn't have a ton of confidence or anything with them. They'd be like, "Here's Grant. He'll get you there."
So you're saying I'd be like the Drew, what is it? The Andy Richter, like to the Sharks Conan. I'd be their little bounce.
No. You'd be
backboard.
the person presenting's hype man. Like if they didn't bring anyone with them.
Well, okay, no, yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is, if I'm always on the show, I become like the Nick Cannon of this AGT. Yo, do you have something for competitions or is America's Got Talent already passed? Nah, I stand by the challenge. Never mind. Let's keep talking about this. I think. Oh man, I think Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I think I'd do the best on that.
I have Googled, "Are you smarter than fifth grade questions?"
Oh,
I have one to run by you.
okay. Do I need to buzz in?
The modern day city of Istanbul was
Constantinople.
known by what name? I think you're smarter than fifth
Dude,
grader.
let's go.
Yeah, let's get you on this.
Let's ride. I'm so glad that was right.
Yeah, you nailed it. And then, fine. You have any cooking shows you think you'd be good on? Because Nailed It is a hysterical cooking show.
Cooking on High. Have you
Is
watched
Action
this?
Bronson involved with that?
No.
But no.
No, I think he has his own version of it, but it's a cooking competition. They have a rotating stable of like 5 or 6 chefs. It's like crazy smart the way they put it together. I'm really upset it didn't catch on bigger. It's like 13 to 15 minute episodes, I think. And basically these 2 chefs will show up. There's some like comedian, music artist, social media star. There's like 2 or 3 of them that will show up, and they're the judges for that week that will then award the winning chef like a golden pot. And basically, so the chefs cook a dish, they get a theme, they cook dishes within that theme, but the catch is that everything they cook is THC infused, and they're like world-class THC chefs. And so they'll make like, yeah, here's this breakfast sandwich with spicy chorizo, a fried egg, and sourdough, like toasted sourdough bread or something like that. And they'll be like, yeah, so you eat it, and then they come back, they go chill for like an hour or 2, and they come back and judge it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think as either
I'm
a
gonna watch
chef
that.
or a contestant, it would be the most fun.
Yeah, good one. Then my last one here is Be Active. So this is American Ninja Warrior, Wipeout, that David Dobrik dodgeball show, the tag show that J.J. Watt hosted, Titan Games, which is The Rock's like big
shit.
competition. And then the floor is lava, where you just have to run around to stay off the floor. I think Jane Lynch does that one.
Okay. So, talk to me more about this dodgeball show.
Yeah, so there were 2 teams, and they both had to, like, do a first competition. And, like, they cut down the people on their teams, and then they did each other, and then they went it. The 2 teams went against each other, and they had like a big octagon with obstacles, and like David Dobrik had a like Gatling gun of dodgeballs that he would shoot at people, stuff like that.
What? How do I take him out?
Fucking intense dodgeball, yeah.
Wait, so if it's straight up dodgeball, like if we're talking dodgeball and underdog story dodgeball,
it's pretty much that, but with more like obstacles and stuff behind.
I think I take that. I got a cannon, bro.
You do.
And I've got like the Jack Black, John Belushi, big guy reflexes. That Chris Farley. I can't quite do flips or anything, but I got the reflexes, man.
Yeah. Well, word. Those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So wait.
So now let's get you on a reality TV show.
Well, yes, but is there any big finale, or is it just? What are the 5? Let's decide out of everything that I threw out there what I do best on.
Yeah. So the first one that you talked about that
so
had the really long
challenge. We had
Survivor,
Catfished.
Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, which you've proven you are,
dude,
and the dodgeball one. I think it'd be Catfish though.
I think Catfish takes the cake here. I was really confident about the challenge for Catfish.
Mm-hmm. Because not only can you put in the work to like find all those people, like in those tense situations, like when the catfish has been found out, you'd be good at those.
But I fucking love it, dude. That's the key.
Oh yeah, you would eat it up.
That's the key. That's the secret sauce on the special sandwich. Well, shit, man. Let's get me on Catfish. I need to become enough of a personality that there's some draw. So...
how are you gonna do that?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I got a few ideas, but unrelated to all of that, I have a couple questions for you now, Luke. So I want to drop you in a scenario. You've seen some shit. You've seen some shit you weren't supposed to see. We don't know really who's involved, but you got to disappear.
Are we Oh, okay.
You got to fake your death, change your name, change your job. Change where you live, and do it like relatively quickly. So we're gonna start off the top. Easy question: what's your new name?
This is easy for you?
I mean, it's the easiest out of the questions.
Oh, fair.
Well, let's break it
enough.
down. Do you want to go with something exotic? Do you want to go with something that's easy to remember but still close to like just basic white guy name?
Yeah, I think I want to lay low, so I think I'm going to go with Scott.
Oh.
And then a last name that is not unique, but not like Burchard either.
No, you can't go with Smith because that's too much of a red flag if they're looking for somebody that changed their name, I
grew up with a guy named Scott Smith, so I can't do that.
Why don't you be, what's the Scott Shepherd?
How about like Scott Nah? Ooh, I like Scott Shepherd, yeah.
And then anytime someone Googles you, anytime someone Googles you, it'll just pull up that. Isn't that the goalie's name from the guy who keeps blocking the ball with his face? Video. Have you seen that one?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Oh no, his name is Scott Sterling. There you go.
And Sterling Shepherd rocks. So yeah, my new name is Scott Shepherd.
Okay. SS. I like that, Scott Shepherd. So where are we living nowadays, Scott Shepherd? I'd assume you'd have to be out of the country, but maybe somewhere tucked away in America, if you can find it. But
I think I'm gonna get out of America.
I think that's
go
smart.
to like yeah. I think I'll go to like a Swiss mountain town. Like not too many people around, but yeah, a lot of in and out still. Like one where there's like a mountain people go ski at, so there's still like turn with tourists and stuff.
So there's a turnover, so there's a nice crowd for you to always kind of just sink back into. Okay.
Right.
So that begs the question, though. You can't do what you do now because then it's too easy to just check for the signatures and be like, yo, here's how he usually does his work. This guy does pretty similar. It looks like him. We can probably assume it's him. Like, we need to... So anyway, what do you do? You're in this new Swiss town. Are you just the new American expat who's moved in looking for a break from the craziness there? Do you pick up an accent? Pick up a new alias?
Oh, I think you definitely got to pick up the accent.
What accent?
Or maybe I just like, maybe, hear me out. No. I was going to say I could go like Wisconsin accent, but then that's my past, so that'd be easy to trace.
I feel like that's bold, though. And
I think I'd go more southern.
Well, how
like
do you,
really
brother?
play up the hick.
That's smart, too, because if you play up the hick, especially outside of the country, like within the country for sure, but outside of the country, for sure, people are going to assume you're like a step slower.
Yeah.
And so if you play it right, then they should be like, oh, that's that fucking idiot Scott. Like, they don't even consider that you could be a secret
Scott Shepherd
witness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so you're going to keep... So what do? What is there to do for you in this Swiss town? Are you going to work a real like public-facing job at one of the resorts where there's going to be all that turnover so people see your face a lot? I mean, that could help to lock you in as Scott Shepherd. That could also help to like get you recognized, though.
Right. And especially since it's a resort, you never know who's going to be in there and who's not going to be. I think what I'm going to do is go find like a shack on the side of a hill somewhere, like a nice one-bedroom, like a bed in the corner, like definitely has a heater you have to start a fire for, and then be a dairy farmer.
Just like with one cow on the side of a mountain.
Yeah,
in
just
a shack.
No. At least 10 cows, a little shepherd dog too. Me have some sheep. I would need to find a very big staff. That would be a new large part of my identity. Is Scott Shepherd staff.
Hey, I have a question. Did you build this entire scenario just so you can be known as Shepherd the Shepherd?
No, I just realized that word. Maybe that's where I'm wanting to be a shepherd from.
Okay, man. Sure. Yeah. We'll trust you. Well, that's...
There's a very important question you haven't asked, though.
Well, there's quite a few. One, how are you going to get 10 cows and unknown numbers of sheep? Also find this big stick. It's going to take some time. You're going to build this shack. You're going to just find an empty shack and fill it. What if somebody already lives there? It's also going to take money. So the main question, I guess this can now be a two-parter. Ballpark about how much money and how much time you're going to need. Again, you got to be moving quick, and there's got to be like cash money. You can't be making huge down payments, wiring funds, you know?
Oh, yeah, no. I feel... Here's my plan. I'm going to get to the countryside there and find a nice Swiss couple that hasn't too much land and haggle with them for the shack. Maybe be like, oh, I'll take care of your cows and sheep. Like, go find a farm to work on. Not my own one.
Get one of those. Well, I mean, you could also get one of those situations worked out where it's like, I'll take care of your 10 cows every year, help you birth like all the new ones. If I can get one each season, that's mine. And so then it's like, after 5 years, you're out your own little herd that's big enough for you to step away, go build your own thing on their land. Okay, I like that. That's smart. So you're Scott Shepherd, the Swiss Shepherd.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
Oh, never mind.
Scott Shepherd, the Swiss Shepherd. Luc Burchard is dead. How does he die, Luke? Scott?
I think... Do we need to leave some... So, the body's got to be disfigured somehow.
See, I think planning on leaving a body is the first mistake. Because then you have to procure a human body.
That is true.
So...
Here's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'm going to make a big hoopla
Yeah.
about going into the mountains. Go somewhere I know they're going to be shooting avalanches.
Okay.
Be like, I'm going to go ski there. Then die in a ski avalanche. Because they're not going to find your body for a long damn time. And,
that's good.
Yeah.
See, the issue that I would take with that is that we're assuming this. You can't go through government witness protection program. So this is some organization that is, is pretty adamant about taking care of you. I feel like someone like that, we're assuming this exists and they have the means to hunt you down as Luke Burchard. They're going to be pretty intent on digging that body up because they know when they dig it up, it'll still be preserved enough to confirm it's you.
I don't know, though, because it's pretty hard to find people in avalanches, though. Especially if you time it right. Because, like, at that elevation, the snow's never going to melt.
I guess my concern is that there's so many variables around, like, the Good Samaritan being near you and the, like, just bullheaded Adam.
Oh, I'm not going to be anywhere near the avalanche.
Oh, that's a good point then. Yeah. Well, who will be? What if they do go to save you and they just find a mannequin and they're like, well, Luke's definitely not dead.
Well, that's the thing. I go MIA. I make sure enough people know I was fucking around up there where the avalanche happened. The avalanche happens, and then I just disappear. And so people can look for me if they want, but they're not going to find anything. And when they don't find anything, they'll just be like, oh, it's under the snow somewhere, and we just never found it.
Okay. So, interesting. Okay.
How would you fake your death?
I think like, so I would go for a cliff. I would go for a cliff in like a jungly area where there's predators, assuming like where you can assume there's predators. I would probably go with like the hat or the shoe on the top of the cliff, then maybe like rip off a strip of shirt on the way down to leave in a tree and like scrape my arm through some trees, leave like enough DNA evidence, and then like climb up a tree where I want to have landed, so to speak, and then give it a nice little impact point, climb up the tree, jump down, hit it, and then leave my other shoe down there and my glasses broken. And then probably if there's not enough blood from scraping up the tree to like sprinkle some, then I would like cut a finger or something and try and sprinkle some just in a trail-ish looking way, to where it looks like maybe something dragged me off. Let me rearrange some stuff and then fucking skedaddle, bro.
Damn, I'd be sold.
Yeah. Probably not anymore since I just admitted it.
We'll keep this between us then.
Okay, so here's my last, most important question, and it's more of a scenario for you, Scott. So you're working at your shepherd place, but you do have to go in as part of your duties with this nice Swiss couple that you're helping out. You do have to go into town, pick up their feed, really just take care of if there's any livestock transactions that need to happen. You got to take care of that. You got to go into town,
right.
Also get your supplies. While you're there in the resort town, you're just, in whatever feed. I so happen to be there, and me and my buddies, we broke our ski. We're looking some real specific epoxy, some glue. There's some nice skis. We got to get them fixed up. We end up in the same little farm store as you. And I walk around the corner. I'm like, oh, Luke, what's up, buddy?
I would deny.
You just deny? We live together, man. I know it's you.
Yeah, but all the other people in the tavern don't.
I'd be like, hey, look, Eli, it's Luke. He'd be like, oh, dude.
Good to go. Oh, no. I'd be like, say howdy, partner. Gotta go. And then I wait outside for you, no doubt. But I got to maintain an image for everyone in that tavern.
Okay, but here's the important question. It doesn't have to be me.
Partner.
So it doesn't have to be me because the next part of this question might get a little grisly if it is me in this example. So let's just say it's someone that you recognize. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what this company that's after you is doing in connection to like hunting down your family. They could just send an offhanded text, be like, "Oh, I saw Luke. It was real weird," and you could be outed immediately. So do you trust this person enough to pull them aside and be like, "Yo, here's the deal. Don't fucking say anything. Don't even text about it. Forget you ever saw me." Or do you handle it otherwise?
I mean, we live together, so
Well,
yeah, I
That's what
trust
I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah,
It gets a little grisly
But-
here.
average person, if I know that they know who I am, I know they recognize me, gotta move again. I'm not risking that.
Okay, so you put the
Because
on
we're already
you.
at drop
You don't-
everything on a hair. Yeah,
Well, that's true. I guess so.
I'd say it's too big of a risk if yeah.
But
If
you wouldn't
someone
just
walked
take them
in
out
there-
to uphold your Swiss lifestyle?
Guess it depends on who. But
Okay. Well, I gotta fly south.
wings up.